Sometimes, the people who smile the brightest are carrying the heaviest pain. You know the kind of moment I'm talking about. Someone looks at you and says, "I'm fine." Their voice sounds calm. Their face tries to look normal. But their eyes tell a completely different story. And in that tiny moment, you feel it. Something inside you whispers that this person doesn't just need you to listen, they need you to care. But most people walk away. This story is about the day I didn't. Before we begin, if stories about kindness, humanity, and real-life moments like this touch your heart, make sure to subscribe to your channel name, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps us spread more stories that remind the world kindness still exists. Now let me tell you what happened. It was a quiet Tuesday evening in late September. The kind of evening where the air feels cool but comfortable, and the sky turns a soft orange before fading into night. I had just gotten home from work. My day had been long and exhausting, and all I wanted was something simple to eat and a few quiet minutes to breathe. So I walked into my kitchen and grabbed a banana from the counter. That's when I noticed her. Emily was sitting on the edge of the kitchen counter, wearing a red dress that caught the warm light from the overhead lamp. Normally, she looked confident and full of life. She had this laugh that could fill a room and make everyone else laugh too. But tonight was different. She looked tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes. The kind that sits deep inside someone's chest. I peeled the banana halfway and jokingly held it out toward her like I was offering a fancy dessert. She leaned forward and took a small bite, smiling. "Thank you," she said softly. But something felt off. I watched her for a second longer than usual. "Hey," I said gently. "Are you okay?" She nodded quickly. "I'm fine." It was automatic. Too automatic. And that's when I saw it. Her eyes. They weren't angry or dramatic. They weren't even full of tears. They just looked tired. Like someone who had been carrying something heavy for too long. Most people would have accepted the answer and moved on. But something inside me told me not to. So I leaned against the counter and said quietly, "You don't have to pretend with me." She looked away. For a few seconds, the kitchen was completely silent. The refrigerator hummed softly. Cars passed outside. Somewhere in the distance a dog barked. Finally she sighed. "Do you ever feel like you're trying really hard?" she asked slowly, "but nothing you do is ever enough?" I didn't answer right away. Instead, I nodded. "Yeah," I said. "I think everyone feels that way sometimes." She stared down at her hands. "I lost my job last week." The words came out so quietly I almost didn't hear them. "I didn't tell anyone," she continued. "Not my parents. Not my friends. I just kept pretending everything was normal." Her voice shook slightly. "And today my landlord called. I'm already late on rent." For the first time, her eyes filled with tears. "I don't know what I'm going to do." That was it. No dramatic music. No big moment. Just a simple truth finally spoken out loud. And suddenly the room felt heavier. I realized something important in that moment. Emily didn't need someone to fix her life. She just needed someone to see her. So I pulled out a chair and sat across from her. "First of all," I said calmly, "you're not alone." She wiped her eyes and laughed a little through the tears. "That's easy for you to say." "No," I replied gently. "I mean it." I told her about the year I had lost my job. About the weeks I spent sending out resumes and hearing nothing back. About the nights I stayed awake wondering how everything could fall apart so quickly. Her expression slowly softened. "You never told me that," she said. "Most people don't talk about those things," I admitted. "But maybe we should." For the next hour, we just talked. Not about solutions. Not about plans. Just about life. About how scary it can feel when things stop going the way you expected. About how lonely it can be when you think you're the only one struggling. And little by little, something changed. Her shoulders relaxed. Her breathing slowed. And that heavy look in her eyes started to fade. Then she said something I'll never forget. "Thank you for asking me again." I tilted my head. "What do you mean?" She smiled softly. "When you asked if I was okay. I almost told you the truth the first time. But I thought you were just being polite," she continued. "Most people are." She paused before finishing the sentence. "But when you asked again, I realized you actually cared." That moment hit me harder than I expected. Because she was right. So many times in life, we ask people, "How are you?" without really listening for the answer. It's just a habit. A routine. But sometimes, someone is standing right in front of us silently hoping we'll notice something deeper. And most of the time, we miss it. That night, after we talked, we made a simple plan together. Nothing complicated. The next morning, we sat down and updated her resume. We looked through job listings. We even laughed a little when one job description asked for 10 years of experience for an entry-level position. But the biggest change wasn't the plan. It was the hope. Because kindness has a strange power. It doesn't always solve problems immediately. But it reminds people they're not facing those problems alone. A few weeks later, Emily called me while I was at work. Her voice sounded completely different. "Guess what?" she said excitedly. "I got the job." I couldn't help smiling. It wasn't just a job. It was a fresh start. Later that evening, we sat in the same kitchen again. Same counter. Same warm lights. This time she looked lighter. Happier. And before leaving, she said something that stuck with me. "You know, that night could have gone very differently." "What do you mean?" I asked. She shrugged slightly. "If you had just accepted, 'I'm fine,' I probably would have kept everything bottled up." She looked around the kitchen thoughtfully. But one small moment of kindness changed everything. And she was right. Because kindness doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's just asking someone one more question. Sometimes it's listening a little longer. Sometimes it's noticing the pain hiding behind a smile. That's the beautiful thing about kindness. It doesn't require money. It doesn't require special skills. All it requires is attention. And the courage to care. So the next time someone tells you they're fine, take a second look. Listen to their voice. Look into their eyes. Because you never know when a small moment of kindness could change someone's entire story. And maybe, just maybe, the world becomes a little warmer because you chose to care. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to your channel name, like this video, and share in the comments a moment when someone's kindness changed your day. Because kindness is contagious. And the more we share it, the more the world needs it.